In one of my other videos, I discussed Cenk Uyghur's prediction about the midterms for 2022, and I gave my response to it. And I'm a little bit critical of his prediction, not to say that he's wrong. So he predicted that the Democrats were going to lose big time in the midterms. Well, there's somebody else whose prediction is the polar opposite, and that is filmmaker and activist Michael Moore, another one whom I'm a fan of. Now, according to Julia Muller's article from The Hill, so this is what it says. Filmmaker and activist Michael Moore is forecasting Democrats to keep control of Congress with a blue tsunami in this year's midterms. With Election Day just a couple weeks away, Moore, who accurately predicted Donald Trump's 2016 win in the face of many pollsters who said otherwise, is anticipating a Democratic wave following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn the right to abortion established in Roe v. Wade. Michael Moore was quoted as saying, on November 8th of 2022, an unprecedented tsunami of voters will descend upon the polls en masse and nonviolently, legally, and without mercy remove every last stinking traitor to our democracy. The Oscar-winning documentarian calls his daily report a series to counter the reporting that the Republicans are going to win the House and the Senate. They are not. Okay, you know what? And so here's the thing. So I'm right so Michael Moore is for sure, he is certain that Democrats are going to win the midterms. Cenk Uyghur is certain that the Democrats will not win the midterms. I feel like I'm kind of in between because I'm not too sure one way or the other. Now, I'm glad that Michael Moore is very hopeful and excited about this, and I'm glad that he's confident. But we have to remember, and I've said this in a few other videos, that there's been too many elections where we were sure about what the result was going to be, and sometimes we were just wrong. You know, back in 2000, everybody was sure that Gore was going to beat Bush. You know, in 2004, I was sure that John Kerry was going to beat Bush. Bush was not going to get reelected. I was wrong there. And of course, we already know what 2016 looked like. I'm pretty sure that was a shock to a vast majority of the nation. So, and there was also a good amount of people in the country in 2020 who didn't think Biden would win. Most people were sure that Trump was going to get reelected, whether they wanted him to or not. So the only thing that really determines the result of the election is if people just get out there to vote. I say this in almost every one of my videos, and I post about this all the time, is that we can't get too comfortable. That my only criticism of Michael Moore's assessment is that, not saying that he is going to be complacent, but it just seems a little too comfortable. And like I said, I know Michael Moore is going to get out the vote because he's a voter. I don't want people to look into that and think, well, we must be safe then because Michael Moore got it right in 2016, so he's going to get it right this time. No, people, you still got to get out to go vote because not voting is the ultimate complacency, and that is the ultimate. That's going to fall upon us if we don't turn out to vote like we're supposed to. And a lot of these polls are tied up. I mean, in some areas, I'm pretty confident we're going to win, and others we're not. For example, I don't know if Democrats are going to take over Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, like those type of states. I don't think that they're going to take over them anytime soon. Even though there's like very little Democratic presence down there, you might have like one Democratic state representative in each state, if that. Whereas a state like California, you have a Democratic governor, Democratic attorney general, secretary of state, an all Democratic state legislature with the state Senate and the state House, and you have all Democratic Congress people, 2 Democratic senators. The Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom, is crushing all of his opponents by at least 20 to 25 percentage points. So, I mean, California is like the exception, kind of. But that doesn't mean California citizens shouldn't get out to go vote for their people. You still get out to go vote for them. Vote for Christy Smith. Vote for Gavin Newsom. Vote for them. So, people, I'm not saying don't believe the polls at all, but just kind of take it with a grain of salt. And it's really about, as I keep repeating myself, just get out to go vote. Just do that. Everybody here in Michigan is quite certain that, well, a lot of people here in Michigan are quite certain that Gretchen Whitmer is going to win re-election. Well, if they get too comfortable and they don't vote for her because they assume she'll win, that means that she could lose, and you'll end up with the person who you don't want to win. And again, as I always say, that's what happened in 2016. So the key is, you can have your predictions and you can have your assessments and you can have your analysis. You can look at what Michael Moore says. You can look at what Cenk Uygur says. You can listen to Nate Silver and Steve Kornacki and anybody else who's done, people on the Hill and who's done the show Rising. I mean, you can listen to what they say and you can hear them out. But that doesn't mean do not get out there to go vote. You get out there and you vote.